it's me, Unapologetically T, and it has been a hot minute since I've done a video. So a lot has happened for Charlotte and I, but I had to come and do the story time. So it's actually a painful story time for me, but I like to laugh and joke about shit, so we're gonna keep it heavy and light at the same time. So yeah, so Charlotte and I have moved. We were able to get, our stuff in storage. I had saved money to get movers, and that worked out. It was a big help, but it was actually like a letdown because they weren't able to move everything. And what else? Keep getting these notifications, but so they wasn't able to like move everything, so that did mean like we had to take some additional trips to the storage, but thank God we could. I do know after that move I was broke down and I was tired. A day before that move, like, my stepfather had called me just out the blue and was like, talking, and it came out, what was going on. And he had a real long talk with me. I was planning on, just thugging it out and sleeping in my car, or doing a homeless shelter and try to figure out housing that way. But he had a talk with me. He ended up crying, and I was just like, you know what? Like, I wasn't even tripping. It's just that it wasn't desirable to go back to my mom's house initially for me. I do not judge my mom whatsoever far as this, but she does hoard, and she's not hoarders like, there's piss bottles and stuff, around the house. No knocking those people that do have that issue. Hoarding is definitely, there's some psych issues going on with hoarding. My mom always kept a neat house. When we was growing up, I was the junkiest person in the house, and I wasn't dirty, I was junky. So, like, I was the child that did not want to put shit back where it's supposed to go. However, like, over the years, like, me living on my own, like, I definitely, learned how to clean up. And well, she taught me how to clean up, but I just did not desire to do it. However, when I got grown, I did want to clean up on my own. I just don't like doing it. So yeah, so she's more of a hoarder in the sense of, I would say she's one of those like doomsday hoarders, like apocalyptic hoarders. Plus, she likes things. So the things she do hoard is valuable. I get it, I understand, and we've talked about, her need for hoarding, and I think it comes from childhood trauma of growing up. My mom grew up with pretty much like in rural Virginia with nothing. So there was no running water there. I don't even think it was electricity. Like, I think they had like a wood stove, and I don't know. I don't remember about the electricity, but I definitely know there was no running water. They used the outhouse. They went to the river or the creek for water and stuff like that. So yeah, she grew up pretty rough, but they did like farm and stuff like that. They had animals and stuff. So she came from nothing, and she always talked about how she was embarrassed about, her having holes in her clothes and all that stuff. Like, and it's weird because she had me, a child that don't give a shit about none of it. Like, I just could care less. I do like what I like, but at the same token, like, at the end of the day, like, it's no big deal to me. I feel like it's more important about what people have in the inside. And so, to segue into the inside of people, this is what I've come for story time for. So get in here, and if you have been missing me, this is, I think, a good one. I feel like if you are an empath, or if you are a person who has endured abuse over, your childhood, your adulthood, like, you're gonna understand this. I think that if you are a person who does the abusing, or you are a person who, just doesn't understand this form of abuse, I do think you are going to be hard to keep up to why this was such a traumatizing event for me in Charlotte. But I always say these videos are supposed to find whoever it's supposed to find. And I'm going to be respectful of people. I'm not going to use names. For this video, I'll be using relationships. And I will be keeping it respectful because they are not my family. I was in hopes that there could be a connection and, some type of, I guess connecting and binding of families, but I'm good. I'm good on that. And that wasn't my purpose anyway. It's just, that was wishful thinking. My purpose is that my daughter, unfortunately, her father is not an active father. We may hear from him maybe once or twice a year. Yeah, he's just not active, and that's if it has been periods of times like where we haven't heard anything from him for 3 years straight. So and he has his own set of childhood traumas that will come out. So buckle up. I'll start from the beginning, and I hope you enjoy the story time. I do not know how many parts it's going to be. I am staying with my mom. I think I did not, I wasn't transparent about that. But so I ended up coming to stay with my mom until I can secure housing again. So which was a transition. That was a transition in itself. Even though it's only been like a week, some change. That's a transition in itself. And however, this trip was pre-planned. I had pre-agreed to it. So I wasn't gonna cancel. And I actually went out my way to make sure that she got there, even though we had a whole bunch of stuff going on and there was some discrepancies in it. So long story short, nope, this is going to be a long story long. All right, so starting from the beginning, Charlotte's grandfather has been active, I want to say, since we moved out. Since we left Dante, like Charlotte's grandfather has been reaching out, and he definitely was wanting to have a relationship with her. It's not like technically the first time he's reached out is when I left Dante, but it was more of reaching out once I left Dante. And I don't think any of those things are correlated or anything like that. I just think that was just the timing and, her dealing with her dad. He was able to connect and all that stuff again. So, just some background too as well. Charlotte does know her paternal grandmother. There was a point where they had an active relationship. However, I'm going to be transparent and I'm going to just tell her all the truth. This whole duration of me raising my child, I have been the one that was putting forth the effort for her to know her biological parents. However, she did have adopted a grandmother who I had no issues with, very sweet woman. So she had her, and she was very helpful during my pregnancy, and I would feel like, during my pregnancy and until like kind of like I graduated. So she was so very helpful. She didn't, it wasn't like support to like get her, but like she would send, aid sometimes for Charlotte, and I thought that was the sweetest thing because I didn't ask and she just would do it. Her dad, the way she met her dad was I was the one that brought her to North Carolina to meet her adopted grandmother, and her dad actually tried to avoid us. It's funny. He tried to avoid us. And that probably had something to do with the altercation we had got into He probably was scared of my mama or something like that because of the altercation that I talk about and how I met her father. So if you want to know some more background, you can go visit that video. So there has been me putting in forth effort. So most of the time when Charlotte would see her paternal grandmother, I would be the one dropping her off. She did at one point have a spouse, and I knew him, and when he would do gigs, like, because he was a musician, he'd do gigs, and he would come past Richmond, like, he would, you know, volunteer to get Charlotte while he had his daughters. So I was okay with that, and because I'm like real super protective, but I was okay with that, and I allowed, you know, that to happen. I think that was about twice. So out of all those years, like, other than that, I was the one taking the initiative to take her to see her grandparents, her grandparent. And there were some points where her dad would come get her too. But there was not a lot of initiative, I feel like, on his end or their end, which is not, like, I decided to have that child. No one else decided to have that child. I decided to have that child. Me and him both were irresponsible young adults, and, you know, things happened. I do not regret my child. I be wanting to regret that man, but every time I want to regret him, like, I can't regret him because he gave me the best gift in the world. So, you know, I don't regret him. Because of that, but, you know, some parts of me just feel like, well, God, because you're giving me the same child with somebody else, because definitely days like today. So, and yesterday. So, given that background, I, the biological mother, have put forth a lot of effort to try to make sure that she meets her family. Now, she does have an aunt in Tobago who has, you know, offered for Charlotte and I to come to Tobago. I paid for her passport when she needed to get her passport. I was going to pay for, you know, the flight out there, and she was going to let us stay with her. However, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about coming in a hotel, and at the time, Dante nor my mother felt comfortable with us both going to a whole new country. We've met her once in the States, and it was like briefly. I think Charlotte had more time with her and her kids, but I met her briefly. But, like, we would be invited to a whole nother country without her father, without anybody else. It'd just be us. And so, like, Dante was like, that's enough for him. And I used to respect his, you know, opinions about certain stuff because he used to be head on. And my mom is another one who, you know, like, I don't like how bossy they is, but, like, you know, I take heed to their advice. I listen to their advice. I'll make my own decision if they allow me. But now I'm grown. It ain't about them allowing me. I'm gonna allow myself to make my own decisions, right or wrong. But with that one, I definitely agree. Like, you know, it's just me and Charlotte. Like, I'm a single woman and my child traveling to a whole new country. Don't know nobody there, you know. So, like, that would have definitely been a little different for us. So my mom suggested that she come. So but that whole thing fell apart, because I remember, I don't know, I don't even want to talk about that, but that definitely fell apart. So, yeah, that one was a little bit, it was a little bit of control in that one too. And because when I wasn't asking her could my mom come. I was letting her know, like, yeah, we can come. I'm bringing my mom. And she was like, well, hold on, I have to check and see if you know, she can come, because I was arranging for y'all to stay here. And I don't know if I have space. So that was like one of those situations. It was like, you know what, never mind. Because I felt like, I had told her, rebutted and said, we would stay at a hotel. She was like, no, no, no. But it was like, I don't like, to impose on people. And I definitely felt like I was imposing when she did it that way, when she stated it that way. And then I just don't feel like I have to ask for permission for nobody to come with me anyway. Like, as long as we're going to get our own room. Now, if we was going to stay in your house, yeah, but that was your plan. That wasn't my plan or my idea. So, and nothing was really communicated until I said something about it. So, that's kind of why that fell short. And I said I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to stop doing it. So, I think his sister is a wonderful woman. It's actually funny because she is the biological family member that when me and him was dating, she was the one that reached out to him, and me and him, sat there and cried together because he had never knew his biological family. And I remember it was Facebook, and she had found him on Facebook, and I remember we was just sitting there, and he was like, this lady saying she my sister, and I don't know if it's real. And then so I was like, well, let me see. And he started asking questions and asking me what questions should he ask. And, we cried together and about it. And, so I've always looked at her as, a decent person. Her mom, I liked her mom. I feel like we all have our life and we all make our mistakes, and I'm so far away from judgmental because I feel like that's God's job, and I think some people are losing their mind and thinking that they can be God in that sense. I think all of us, have God flowing through us. Whether we want to utilize it or not is up to us. But some people are losing me when they get that holier than thou complex and they start judging people. But her paternal grandmother is far from, super judgy. You could tell she definitely lived a life where, it definitely will humble you and make you realize not to be so snooty and, nose in the air to people. So fast forward, Charlotte's grandfather had been sending her money. So he sent her money last Christmas. And he sent her some money. It was probably a couple of months ago, maybe. So a couple of months ago. I can remember exactly. But so yeah. I want to make a disclaimer too that people get me fucked up because I am the worst person that you should try to control with money or resources, because I am that person that would tell you to take your money and your resources and shove it up your ass, and I will struggle. I would let you watch me struggle. I would let you watch me struggle and build my fucking stuff back up before you ever get to handle me with money. And I mean this for anybody. Anybody who has ever tried to handle me with money, they can vouch for that. I don't play about that. I'm not a sellout. It's not appealing to me. Money is not my God. It has never been. I feel like money is a man-made construct. We're simply using it to survive because man created it. Because I think he's kind of sadistic and gets bored and wants to play God. So, because we literally all could be living off this earth for free. It's literally as simple as that. But because, we have the desire to be over one another, shit just ain't like that. So, that's my whole philosophy over money. I need money to survive because that's the way the world is designed, but I think it's bullshit. And I think that if we are going to have a system of money or currency or resources of any kind, it should be fucking equally distributed. As long as people are working and doing their job and putting back into the earth and, helping and healing each other, I don't understand what's this desire or need to be over one another. It's crazy to me. But anywho, that is the wrong way to do things. And I'm not saying that this was done to us. However, I'm just making a disclaimer that money is not the route to try to manipulate or control me. And I'm going to add an extra layer to this. I grew up around drug dealers. I dated drug dealers. I am not saying this as a prideful thing. My friends were drug dealers. Shit, family members were drug dealers. You know, like, fast money was always around. It is not... I grew up poor, but, like, fast money became, you know, around at a certain age. So I've seen trash bags full of money. I've seen, like, and I mean contractor bags full of money. Like, I've seen money. I do not particularly give a fuck. I don't think money is the root of all evil. I think that power is, and I think that, you know, money is created as a social construct to oppress us. But that's just my opinion. You know, whoever love it, praise your God. But in God I trust. So, truly, not just written on the dollar bill. So, yeah, I'm not insinuating that, you know, that was what was being done. However, I'm just making a disclaimer. Please do not come into this force field and think that that's what's going to happen. It is not going to happen. Because I done seen it all. Like Jeezy said. So, yeah, saying that, you know, so Charlotte grandfather invited us out. First of all, he invited us out and he was basically like, my church is having this thing, and I didn't know what the thing was. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't know what the thing was. But I'm like, okay, it's cool. Like, I'm one of them people. Sometimes I go with the flow, and sometimes I go with the flow with a little too much. Sometimes I'm anal. So I'm one of them people right now in life. I am learning to find balance. Learned a valuable lesson. I need the details. I did ask for the details and never received them. So I was like, you know, yeah, he gave me the date. Text me the date and everything. Said the date, it was happening on the 23rd. So I'm like, okay, I'm marking it on my calendar, because if I don't put it on the calendar, baby, it's not happening. So I'm like, you know, I'm putting it on the calendar, and so put it on the calendar, you know, having this expectation that it's going to be this day, and you know, cool, we'll go up there. So then maybe like 2 weeks before the date was arriving, he reached out and was like, you know, like, can y'all stay the whole week? And I'm like, immediately, I'm like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, nah. First of all, like, we don't even know y'all. And I was like, but this ain't about me. This is about her. So I was like, well, what I'm going to do, because I'm going to respect my feelings, and I'm going to respect, you know, hers and theirs. I'm trying to be fair. So I'm like, you know, instead of us doing a whole week, we could do like a couple of days, which was probably about like 3 days. I think we were supposed to, well, the dates was wrong, so let me not get ahead of myself. So, all right, I was given the 23rd. However, when he asked about the week, I said, nope, we can come. And I gave him the dates that we could come in between. So let's see. That light might cut off. You might get a dark video tonight, because I don't want to run my battery dead, and I don't be feeling comfortable doing content in the house. And I really don't want to talk shit about this girl grandparents, you know, in front of her. So we do have respectable politics in here. And however, my child is wise beyond her time, and anybody who, you know, talks in front of her and think that she's not fucking listening to you, she is. So I'm not raising a child to be dumbed down. That was done to me too many times. And it wasn't just through childhood, it was throughout life. And this is just not gonna happen. I'm not raising a child that cannot verbalize how she feels. She will be emotionally intelligent and she will be assertive. I would love for her to have all the practice with me and in life experiences to be able to say what the fuck she feels or what she needs or what she expects, and for people to respect that. And she to do that to others. So my parenting style is different from this old school parenting style, and I will tell people that all the time. So I'm very aware. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy that it is different. We breaking chains over here. We breaking cycles. I've already set her back by repeating a cycle that was a cycle for me of growing up in a broken home without a biological parent. So, you know, I'm already repeating some of the cycles that were in my life. I can at least break some of the cycles. I can at least break the cycles that I can't break. The cycles that I cannot break, you know, all I can do is tell her, hey, look, this is where I went wrong and this is how I feel. If you want to, you know, repeat that cycle for you and your offspring, it's going to be a hard life path. So, back to the story. So, her grandfather was like, you know, oh, when I sent the dates that we could come, we could stay. And then they invite us to stay at their house. I have never, and I've never stayed at anybody's house that I did not know with anybody that did not know them. So I think one example would be I stayed at her adopted grandmother house when me and her dad was dating. Like, he took me to go meet his mom and I spent the night there. We went to church together. There was no problem, and this will make sense when we get further along in the story, because the way his mom approached me was completely different from what happened to me and my child. So once again, I was told, you know, like, I was told that the dates that I chose was the wrong dates, and that he said that it was on the 20th, when I was like, well, hold on, let me check, because I do have ADHD, and if I do not put it in the calendar, and my ADHD and memory has got it once I had a baby, like, I used to have a memory like an elephant, and I still do have some memory like an elephant in certain areas, but I was like an elephant. I ain't need to write nothing down. You said some shit to me, I held on to that. However, after I had a child, I think I shared some memory with her, and the storage is not storing right. So I literally write stuff down. I use my phone, I use a piece of paper, I write stuff down. I'm a person, if I write it down, it helps me. So it made the calendar, and I checked. I was like, okay, so it's in the calendar for this date. All right, well, I'm gonna check the text message. So in the text message, it says the 23rd. So I'm like, well, you told me the 23rd. So mind you, the 19th is Juneteenth, and I wanted to celebrate Juneteenth. I mean, it is something that I've been celebrating for years before it even became a fan, you know, a fad, I'm going to say, because I feel like America is making it a fucking fad. They give us a holiday, but then yet they will say that they do not want diversity, equity, and inclusion. They do not want, you know, the CRT, it's slipping my mind. I cannot think of a critical race theory. They don't want that taught in schools. However, they'll give us a fucking holiday about how they cheated Texas out of freedom for 2 years. It's just, yeah. The life we're living right now, like, people do not realize how psychologically damaging that shit is. And then this is where, you know, this situation was psychologically damaging for me and my child. However, Uno reversed that shit. So, we're going to go in and we're going to dissect this situation. So I told you the 20th. I had proof. He told me the 23rd. It's no big deal. You know, maybe you got your dates mixed up. I'm going to make arrangements, because I had plans. But I'm going to make arrangements. I'm going to make arrangements so we can make this work, because he was telling me how, like, he had spent $300 on their tickets, and, you know, like, he was expecting us to come. So initially that felt guilt trippy to me right then and there, and I'm like, but bruh, like, I'm not saying but bruh because I'm respectful, like I've always said in my videos, like my mom did, made some mistakes in parenting, and then she also did some phenomenal jobs in parenting, and then she also did some repeated cycle shit, and like we all do as parents. And one thing I will say, my mom raised me to have respect for my elders. I have made exceptions to that rule, but my mom did teach me to have respect for elders. My mom was born in the 1950s. She had me when she was 40. So, baby, my upbringing is old school. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make arrangements because this isn't about me. This is about my daughter. She ain't never met her grandfather. I want her to meet her grandfather. We're going to make this happen. So I was like, you know what? All right, cool. I will come, the evening of the 19th. The trip was the 20th. We was going to leave Sunday. So that means I would be coming in on a Wednesday night or evening. The trip would be Thursday, Friday. I didn't know what they had planned for us. Saturday, I didn't know what they had planned for us, and then I was going to leave Sunday morning. However, y'all invited us, so I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about anything because nothing was told to me. I asked for details, nothing was told to me. So, even my mom kept asking, like, what are y'all doing? I didn't even learn what we were doing until we got there. That was a mistake on my part. I will take full responsibility as the parent in the group that was a mistake on my part. I should have had all the details of what we were doing, who you were, what was your house rules, since you was inviting us to your house and we never met you and we don't know you. But nothing was explained. Nothing was, nothing. We get on the road, we go down there. So when we get down there, we meet, it's cool. Charlotte is shy. She has never met these people before, so of course it's awkward for her. She doesn't really have a great relationship with her dad, so like it's already gonna be some awkwardness there anyway, because once again, there is no bonds established. They don't know her. She don't know them. They don't know me. I don't know them. So we're basically strangers meeting each other. And it was the worst idea for them to invite us to stay at their house, and they knew nothing about us and we knew nothing about them. It was the worst idea for me to think that was okay. However, I've learned moving forward, I don't give a fuck who you is. If I ain't never met you, we ain't doing no stay at no house visits. I don't care about your cultural policies or differences. I don't care. I'm not staying at your house. I will get a room and, we could check in with you through the day and whatever you got, give us the itinerary and we will meet you. But I will never stay at nobody's house that I don't know and I'm not with someone that actually knows the people and can vouch that this is going to be a safe space. Now, nowhere on this trip were we in any physical danger. I want to put that out clear. But however, people only think about abuse as physical. This trip was very abusive. Not the first